Life is filled with questions we can't answer, past we didn't expect, and moments that don't make sense. We all want clarity. We want to know how things will turn out, when our prayers will be answered, and why certain things happen the way they do. But one of the greatest lessons we can learn is that mystery isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Think about the most beautiful parts of life. Love is a mystery. How two people find each other in a world of billions. How a child forms in the womb. How a dream takes root in someone's heart and turns into reality. These things are beyond human understanding, yet they are some of the most powerful, life-changing experiences we can have. Mystery doesn't mean something is wrong, it means something greater is at work. When we demand to know everything, we often miss the beauty of what's unfolding. It's like trying to force a flower to bloom before it's ready. The process of waiting, the unknown stages of growth, are what make the bloom so beautiful when it finally arrives. Sometimes the mystery of life leads us down unexpected roads. We set out thinking we know where we're going, only to find ourselves in places we never planned. It can be uncomfortable, it can be frustrating. But what if those detours are actually leading us somewhere better? What if the delay, the unanswered question, the uncertainty is part of a bigger story? The greatest breakthroughs often happen in the mystery. When we don't have all the answers, we are forced to let go and trust. We are stretched in ways we never imagined. We develop patience, resilience, and faith. The unknown pushes us to rely on something greater than ourselves. A child doesn't need to understand how an airplane works to enjoy the flight. They don't sit in the seat worried about the mechanics. They simply trust that they are being carried to where they need to be. In the same way, we don't have to understand every detail of our journey to know we're going somewhere good. The most powerful stories in history were written in moments of uncertainty. Every great leader, every world changer, every person who has ever stepped into something great has had to walk through seasons where they didn't know what was next. They had to trust, they had to embrace the mystery. Instead of fearing the unknown, what if we leaned into it? What if instead of resisting, we surrendered? What if we let go of the need to have all the answers and simply trusted that what is ahead is greater than what we leave behind? Fear is a natural response to the unknown. When we don't have all the answers, when things aren't going the way we expected, when we can't see what's ahead, fear creeps in. It whispers, what if things don't work out? What if you fail? What if this is the wrong path? Fear tries to convince us that the unknown is something to be afraid of. But here's the truth. Fear is a liar. It magnifies the worst case scenario, keeps us stuck, and blinds us to the possibilities that lie ahead. Fear tells you to stay where it's safe, to hold back, to wait until you have all the answers. But faith tells you to move forward, even when you can't see the whole picture. Faith and fear both require you to believe in something you can't see. Fear believes in the worst. Faith believes in the best. Fear focuses on the obstacles. Faith focuses on the opportunities. Fear says, what if it doesn't work? Faith says, what if it does? When you walk by faith, you're not relying on your own understanding. You're trusting in a greater plan. You may not know how things will unfold, but you know they will. You may not see the way, but you know there is one. Faith allows you to step forward with confidence, even in uncertainty. Look at the great stories of breakthrough and success. Every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful had to step out in faith. They had to take risk, move despite their fears, and trust that something greater was leading them. Think about David when he stood before Goliath. The entire army was paralyzed by fear. They saw an unbeatable giant, but David saw an opportunity. He didn't have all the answers. He didn't know exactly how the battle would unfold, but he had faith that he wasn't facing that giant alone. Fear tries to shrink your life, but faith expands it. When you choose faith over fear, you open the door for miracles. You step into places you never imagined, meet people you never expected, and see doors open that you never thought possible. You may be standing in front of a situation that looks overwhelming. Maybe you don't know how things will come together. Maybe you're facing a challenge that seems impossible, but this is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to stand strong in faith. Fear may be loud, but faith is more powerful. Fear may try to stop you, but faith will push you forward. Nobody likes uncertainty. We like to have a plan, a roadmap, a clear picture of what's next. But the truth is, real growth, life-changing, destiny-shaping growth happens in the unknown. It happens in those moments when we're stretched, when we don't have all the answers, when we're forced to step outside of our comfort zones. Think about a butterfly in a cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. It's hidden, isolated, surrounded by darkness. But inside, transformation is taking place. Wings are forming. Strength is being developed. The struggle inside that cocoon is what prepares the butterfly to fly. Without the pressure, without the unknown process, it would never reach its full potential. And in the same way, when we're in seasons of uncertainty, it's not wasted time. We may not see progress. We may feel like nothing is changing, but deep within, something is shifting. We're growing in patience, in wisdom, in strength. We're being prepared for what's next. Think about the moments in your own life where you experienced the most growth. Was it when everything was easy, predictable, and comfortable? Or was it when you were faced with challenges that forced you to stretch? Maybe it was a job loss that pushed you to discover new skills. Maybe it was a closed door that led you to an opportunity you never would have considered. Maybe it was a season of waiting that taught you to trust. We live in a world that thrives on instant results. We want fast answers, quick breakthroughs, and immediate success. When things don't happen on our timeline, we start to question, worry, and sometimes even give up. But just because something is delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Some of the greatest blessings in life don't come when we want them, but when we're ready for them. If you receive something too soon before you have the strength, wisdom, or maturity to handle it, what was meant to be a blessing can feel like a burden. Delay isn't about punishment, it's about preparation. Think about a farmer. He plants seeds in the soil and waits. He doesn't dig them up every day, wondering if they're growing. He doesn't assume the harvest is denied just because he doesn't see anything happening. He trusts the process. He knows that under the surface, the seed is taking root. The delay isn't a denial. It's a sign that something greater is being developed. In life, delays often come because there's something happening behind the scenes that we can't see. Maybe you've been waiting for a dream to come to pass, a door to open, or an opportunity to present itself. You've worked, prayed, and believed, but nothing seems to be moving. What if the delay isn't a no, but a not yet? Joseph was given a dream that he would one day be a ruler, but before he stepped into that promise, he faced setback after setback. He was betrayed, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and even imprisoned for something he didn't do. If he had looked at his situation, he could have assumed that his dream had been denied. But what he didn't see was that every delay was part of the plan. Every setback was actually setting him up. When the time was right, he went from the prison to the palace in a single day. Maybe you're in a season where things feel slow. Maybe you're watching others step into opportunities while you're still waiting. Don't let impatience make you settle for less than what's meant for you. Don't mistake delay for denial. What's ahead of you is worth the wait. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean things aren't shifting. Just because the answer hasn't come yet doesn't mean it's not on its way. A delay is never a sign to give up. It's a sign to keep believing. Nothing in your life is random. Every experience, every challenge, every delay, and every opportunity is part of a greater plan. It may not always make sense in the moment, but your steps are being divinely ordered. Sometimes we look at where we are and wonder how we got here. We question why certain doors closed, why certain relationships ended, or why a situation didn't turn out the way we expected. But what if every step, even the ones that felt like setbacks, was actually moving you towards something greater? Think about a GPS. When you enter a destination, it calculates the best route. But if you take a wrong turn, the GPS doesn't cancel your trip. It simply recalculates. It finds another way to get you where you're supposed to be. In the same way, your life has a set destination. Even if you've made mistakes, even if things haven't gone as planned, you're still on track. Nothing is wasted. The path may change, but the destination remains the same. When you trust that your steps are ordered, you stop stressing over every little detail. You stop overanalyzing every closed door. You stop wondering if you're falling behind. Instead, you start moving forward with confidence, knowing that even detours have a purpose. David was just a shepherd boy tending sheep when he was anointed to be king. From the outside, it didn't look like he was on the right path. He wasn't in a palace, he was in a pasture. But what he didn't realize was that every moment spent in the field was preparing him for his destiny. The battles he fought in private gave him the strength to defeat Goliath in public. His steps were being ordered. Some of you are in a season where you don't understand why certain things are happening. You don't see how this chapter connects to the bigger picture. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Your steps are leading you somewhere. The lessons you're learning, the struggles you're facing, and the patience you're developing are all shaping you for what's next. Nothing is accidental. That job you didn't get, that opportunity that passed you by, that unexpected turn, all of it is part of the process. When you trust that your steps are ordered, you walk with peace. You move with assurance. You stop worrying about missing out because you know that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. Where you are today is not the end of your story. You are being guided, led, and positioned for something greater. Every step, even the ones you don't understand, is getting you closer to where you're meant to be. No matter where you are right now, no matter what you've been through, your story isn't over. The best is still ahead. Too often we look at our past and think, those were the good days. We remember times when things felt easier, doors opened quickly, and everything seemed to fall into place. But just because something was good doesn't mean it was the best. Just because one chapter was amazing doesn't mean the next one won't be even greater. Life is not meant to go backward. You're not supposed to peak early and then coast through the rest of your days. You were created to go from glory to glory, from strength to strength, from victory to victory. What's behind you was preparation for what's ahead of you. Think about a builder constructing a house. He doesn't stop after laying the foundation and say, that's good enough. No, the foundation is just the beginning. It's necessary, but it's not the final picture. In the same way, what you've seen in your life so far is only the foundation. The dreams you've accomplished, the doors that have opened, the blessings you've experienced, they were just the groundwork for something even greater. Sometimes we get discouraged because we don't see things happening as quickly as we'd like. We feel like we've reached a plateau, like nothing exciting is ahead. But just because you don't see movement doesn't mean things aren't shifting. Just because you don't have all the answers yet doesn't mean the story's finished. Abraham and Sarah thought their best days were behind them. They believed they were too old, that their promise had passed them by. But at the perfect time, God did something so incredible that it left them in awe. They held in their arms what they thought was impossible. Their best days weren't behind them. They were right in front of them.